Hello everyone, my name is Mohammad Safdar and we are going to start an Angular 7 series. So in this series we are going to cover the topics which are given here. So it's just a glimpse of the Angular 7 and we are going to just create some sample projects and we are going to cover these main topics in the entire series. So after completing this series, you are able to create a new project. You are able to work with the material and Bootstrap. You will have the basic understanding how the computer components of Angular 7 communicates, what are the bindings, and we are going to look into the RxJS libraries and services, and we are going to create one fake API using a JSON server and consuming those APIs into our services. So you will get the entire idea how the Angular 7 application will be created and how the communication with the outside world will happen here. So on this entire series, you will require these three prerequisites to be installed on your system. So the primary one is the Node.js. So actually Node.js is the backbone for our all applications. So to install the Node.js, I'm going to open the browser, just type the Node.js. Yeah, and you can open the Node.js first link and download the installer based on your requirement and based on your OS and platform. Once the download is complete, install those packages on your system. And after that, the second prerequisite was the Angular CLI. So I believe everyone have already installed the Node.js. So just go to the Node.js command prompt. Just go to the search on your system. Just type the node, and the node command prompt will be appear here. So just click on that, and then click on right click and run as administrator. So actually it will give the administrator privileges to our Node.js command prompt. It will most of the time require that you need to run the Node.js in admin mode because it will going to download some of the dependencies. If you are not running that in administrator mode, so you will face some of the issues, permission issues later on while creating a new project. So every time you are facing any issues during creating a new project, just verify that you are running that command prompt, Node.js command prompt in admin mode. So I have the Node.js installed on my system, so you can verify using this command which version you are working on. So I am working on 10.12.0. So it's already present on my system. So second prerequisite was Angular CLI. So just type the Angular CLI in your search. Yeah. So open the first link. Yeah. So you can see that Angular CLI will be installed using the npm. So npm is nothing but node package manager. So it is a part of the node which we have installed on our system. So it is actually inbuilt in a node commands or a node module. So to install the Angular CLI, we just need to type npm. Sorry, it should be in small install. So here is dash G. G stands for global. So we are installing the Angular CLI globally because we want to access those commands everywhere or anywhere in the system while we are creating any new project. So it should be installed globally. Angular/CLI. Here is the package name which needs to be installed. Just press the enter key. It will install the Angular CLI globally, and after that we can verify the correctness or the version of the Angular CLI installed on our system. It will take some time. Yeah, so it's done now. So you can see that on successful installation you will receive this type of messages, and we can verify the Angular node commands using the ng-v or you can type a full version because it's a version 7.0.4. So dash v will not work here. If you are having some earlier version of the Angular CLI, dash v will work, but if I press dash v, it will not show you the version, which in other earlier cases it will show the version of the Angular CLI. But if you need to see the version of the Angular CLI above the seventh version number, so you need to just press V or type a full name version. There is no need to add the dash sign before that. So now you can see the details that what is the Angular version I am having, OS, and the packages. So the main package was that we are working on the Angular 7. So you can see that the dev kits and other semantics, and the semantics Angular is all are from the 7th version. So I think the most of the part of the prerequisites are done. Now we need one editor to edit our Angular application. So the best editor I found in the market or currently I'm working on is the VS Code editor, and it's free. You can download it easily on your system. So just type VS Code. So it is the best editor I have found, or I am working on the creating the new projects using this editor. So you can download based on your requirement and based on your platform. Just download it, and we are going to see how to work with those editor. So if I type the code, so it is here, it is appearing VS Code editor, Visual Studio Code. So we are going to work on that. So everything is set up now. Just we need to go to our folder structure, or the folder where we need to create our Angular application. So I'm just navigating to my folder. Yeah. So here I am going to create a new project, and keep in mind that this project will be served as a base template for our entire series. So be named according to it. So I'm going to create ng. Ng is for Angular CLI commands to initiate the to execute the Angular CLI command. So ng new to create a new project, and the name of the project. So I'm going to name it Angular7 POC. Just press the enter key. So with the new Angular CLI version, it will ask you to add the routing. So as of now, you can press the N for no, or if you want to add the routing as a default or by the Angular CLI, you can type the yes. But as of now, we are just typing the no and press the enter key. Another big difference with the other version of the Angular CLI, that now it is going to ask you which type of a style sheet you are going to use or you like to prefer to be included in your Angular project. So currently I'm going with this CSS, but based on your requirement or based on your choice, you can go with the SCSS, SASS, less or stylus. But as of now, I'm going with the CSS. Just press the enter key. It will going to create a architecture or the default structure for the Angular application. So it again will take some time because it's going to download all the node modules into our system. So it it is much time consuming based on your bandwidth of the internet. So it's taking some time. So we have started with our the first series or first topic, creating a new project. So we just created the new projects, which is still in a loading phase. It's just bootstrapping the things. Still loading. Yeah. So yeah, it is processing. It's about to finish now. Yeah, it's done. So you can see that the project has been created, but uh, to open the project we just need to go to that folder. So it's here, my POC folder. So you can just type the, yeah, here is the entire structure has been created, and now we can edit those things into the VS Code editor. So to open the this Angular 7 POC into the VS Code editor, I can type the command code dot. So it will open the VS Code editor. Again, that also in a administrator mode, because we are running that command prompt in a admin mode. So here it is open now, taking some time. Yeah, so it is open and you can verify that it is running on admin mode as well. So it is the entire architecture. So we have the node modules, src, app, and everything was on in place. Just go to the Angular JSON, so you can find what are the versions, what are the details of the packages here. Yep. So you can go to the package JSON files to see the version of the packages. So we are working on the Angular 7 here, and all other related packages are belong to the Angular 7. So it's done. Just need to run the application. So you can type or run the application through node.js command prompt, but we have opened the VS Code editor, so we can use the terminal provided by that. Just create a new terminal, open the new terminal. Yeah, so the entire architecture or the structure of the our application is created. Now we need to run that application using some commands. So to run the application we have command ng serve. So ng serve will by default serve our application to the local host with port 42. But what if you already having some application running on the port 42? So you can specify the port just like that, and name on the or the number of the different ports. But as of now I'm running on the port 42. No issue with that, because I'm not running any application on port 4200. So here you can see that is running on the port 42. It is mentioned by the CLI command. I just copy that and going to open that in the browser. So I think we can close this. Yeah. So here you can see that the Angular 7 application is up and running. So we are almost done with the first part, creating the Angular 7 applications or the default structure of that application. So it is not containing any style sheets or Angular material, but we can install Angular Bootstrap here. Before that, I have just visited to the Bootstrap official site. We can copy the some of the codes from here to see what are the we are not having any Bootstrap installed. So just copy one button, type from the Angular 4, and just add on the page. So actually first page we are visiting is this. I'm just adding one button. So So I've removed some of the codes, and we can see that it's getting refreshed automatically. Yep, we have changed something there and it's automatic refresh the browser. So it is constantly looking for the changes and reflecting those changes into the browser. So I have just removed some of the codes and added one bootstrap button here, so it's automatically gets refreshed and you can see on a browser, but it's not having any styling of the bootstrap 4. So in order to add the bootstrap styling, we need to add the bootstrap packages and style sheets. We can add those bootstrap packages using npm commands. So to install and configure bootstrap, we need to install the bootstrap and the dependent jquery. So you can again go to your VS Code, and you can see that on my first terminal I am running the application. So you can add another terminal window using a plus icon. Yeah, you can write npm here as well instead of the node command window. So npm install bootstrap. So before going to that, just go to the node, it's running, stop it using Control C. It will show you terminate the batch job, just press yes. So we have stopped the execution, current execution. Now we can install the bootstrap. Just press the npm install bootstrap as shown here, npm bootstrap boot. Yep. So it is loading, adding the bootstrap version 4.1.3, which is the latest version of the bootstrap. Yeah, so the bootstrap is installed on our system. So the bootstrap having a 4.1.3 version. If you need to go to, or you need to find which version, which packages have been installed on our project, so you just can go to the package JSON. You can find the bootstrap entry here. So bootstrap is always pointing to the latest version, so the current version is 4.1.3. Side by side we need a jQuery. So bootstraps comes with its JS function, which is depends on the jQuery. So we can install the jQuery as well using a node package manager. So first I have installed the bootstrap. Now I am going to install the jQuery. So again go to the VS Code editor, install npm install, or you can write I as a short form for install jQuery. Just press the enter, and these all installed packages will be contained into the node module. So we need to add those references of those modules into our Angular app, and we can see after the installing the jQuery how to reference those install libraries into our Angular. Yeah, now the jQuery also added. The jQuery version is 3.1.1. So jQuery, you can also find that into our package JSON here. It's jQuery 3.1.1. So you can see that we have installed the Bootstrap and the jQuery, but Angular application doesn't know where to pick or how to get those install components or install libraries into our application. So there are different methods to do that. The first and the standard method is that the open your So the standard method to add the scripts into your Angular application, so that Angular knows which type of the scripts or styles it needs to be added or referenced while serving the application. So you can go to the Angular CLI.json file. So you can find that on your root folder here, Angular JSON. Just open that and you can find there is two sections like scripts and styles. So we can add a bootstrap styles here. So before that you can have different extensions in VS Code editor. So I have installed this type of extension on my system. Yeah, so you can install those type of extension in your system. So if you are working with the latest version of Angular, VS Code editor, so you can have different latest features. So just like copy the relative path. So we need to include the Bootstrap style sheet here in this section of styles in Angular JSON. So you can search for the Bootstrap in node modules. So just go by the names. So it's be bootstrap. Sorry, you need to refresh that. Yep. If you are not able to find after the installation, just refresh that. Yeah, here it is Bootstrap. You can find that it's Bootstrap is available now because I haven't refreshed after the installation, so it will not showing me that folder. So just go to dist css. So currently we need only the css, so I'm not going to play the minified version of that as of now. I'm just going to play the bootstrap css. Just right click, copy the relative path. So it is the new feature provided in VS Code latest version. So you can copy the relative path here, copy relative path, and just add that after the style.css or before that. So I'm going to add before that because I'm going to use that default styles provided by the bootstrap, and then we can customize using our styles.css. Just please remove that backslash with the forward slash. Yep. So now we have shown the styles where to pick from. I'm going to save that. So if you are going to visit to your site, so yeah, so we need to run that application first. So I can run ng-serve. So we have now added the styles. So basically after running that application, this primary button should get the styles which is already mentioned on our Bootstrap 4 official site. So it should be look like this. So currently no styles applied because we are not having any Bootstrap installed on our application. So now we have installed and now we are serving the application. So now it should get the styles of the Bootstrap. So we have added the styles, and we also need to add the jQuery in a Bootstrap JS, but currently we are just verifying that the styles are working or not. So here already application is running. I just need to refresh that because we are again serve that application. So we have added the styles. So just go to the Angular CLI JSON, and on the first node you find you can find the projects, In the projects there is a styles, so we have added the styles dot minified version of the CSS, or we can use the simple version or non-minified version of that. Anyways, which you can use any of the version which you would like to add. So I've just added the minified version, save that file. Now you can see that the styling of the bootstrap is applied over here on the button, which was previously missing. And for the safer side, we can add the jQuery and the bootstrap JS here. So for adding a jQuery, just again go to the node module, find the jQuery under this section of jQuery. So first jQuery should be reference, then the bootstrap JS, because the bootstrap JS depends on the jQuery. So first add the where is the jQuery? Yeah, here it is, the jQuery. Just go to expand that folder structure, dist, and the jQuery minified version. So I'm just picking the jQuery minified version here, copy the relative path, just paste it here. Just remove the backslash with the forward slash. Comma. Now we need to add the bootstrap JS. So to add that, we again go to the bootstrap folder, bootstrap, here it is, dist, now the JS, and we can pick the minified version, no problem. Right click, copy relative path, just paste it here, just remove the backslashes with the forward slashes, save. So the entire bootstrap is set up. We can use the bootstrap for bootstrap component, bootstrap 4 component with our Angular applications. So the styling is done. Now we are going to see, let me go to the presentation. So the styling part was done, but we can now we are going to use the so now we are going to create or add uh, the Angular material. So basically Angular material is having some of the latest UI element that can be used in modern applications. So you can go to material.io, angular.io. So you can see that there is some nice elements or the modern controls available in Angular material, just like that. Side nav, toolbars. So here is the toolbar, basic toolbar, cards, dividers. So yeah, so just a basic example of what are the different materials. So you can see this type of the stylings or this type of the components or this type of the controls we can access in our Angular application through the Angular material. So Angular materials nothing but it's a library, we can say that, that is designed on the material principles. So we can use these controls provided by Angular material, but to do that we need to install the material in our Angular application. So Angular application doesn't comes with by default installation of the Angular material. We need to explicitly add those materials into our applications. So to add that, yeah, to add that we need to install those Angular materials and CDK. So you can see here is the command npm install save to save the dependencies @angular/material and @angular/cdk. So I'm just going to stop this application using Control C, Y to yes, and npm install. So I'm going to type the npm install in our terminal here. Npm install dash dash save @angular slash material, another is angular/cli. Just press the enter key. So it will going to add the Angular material. It will again take some time. So the Angular material and CDK are installed. It should be CDK, not CLI. So just press enter. So previously I have written a CLI. It should be a CDK, not CLI. So the Angular material and CLI installed. So we need animation as well to be installed. So just go to the npm install @angular/animations. It will add the animations library. Yeah, so the Angular animations are added. Now we are ready to use the Angular material icons on our form. So you can visit to the Angular material.angular.io. So just we are going to use an input element from the Angular material. So you can go to the source, how it has been used. So it is used like that, mat form field. Okay, so we are just going to our starting page dot, and below that primary button I'm just going to paste that Angular material icon or material input. So it is definitely going to show an error that so before that we need to run the application. So obviously we are going to have error on our HTML because We have used the material input, but we haven't declared that in some modules. So we will take a look on that. So our application is now serving on the port 4200. So we can go to the port 4200, just refresh that if it's not manually refreshed. So we are not able to see anything on a screen, so we just inspect the element. So it is showing me one error in a console. Just go to the console and here is the error. So error is showing me that the mat form field is not known element because we haven't used any, or we haven't tell the Angular application that its element belongs to some other module. So it is belongs to the Angular material module. So to remove this error, we need to declare that element. Before using that element into an HTML, we need to declare that element into a module. So we can do that by declaring that element into our root module. So currently we have a app module, so we can just go to the app module. So as we have seen that we have added a form field which is belong to Angular material, and we have used this, and you can see that in browser we are getting an error that the mat form field is not known element. So basically this element is not known to our Angular application. So what we need to do, we need to import those modules. Basically the modules belongs to Angular material into our application. So we can import that in our app module, but it is not a standard practice to import those modules in our app module. But as of now we are importing those Angular material module into in our app module, and those module later we will add those module into our shared module. We will create a one share module. That share module will contains all the material modules, and that module will be imported here. So but as of now I'm just currently importing directly the material modules here. Before that I need animation library because we have too much animations in the materials library. So we can go for Angular slash platform browser slash animations. So just type browser animation module. Here it is. So we have declared that. Just go and import that modules. So it is the animation modules which is required by our materials. Now we need to import the material specific modules from the materials library. Angular slash material. Okay. So as you can see in our HTML, we have used two mat elements here. One is form field, one is mat input. So there are two modules related to these two fields which we have used. So one was the mat form module, yeah, mat form field module, and mat input module. Yep, here it is. So we just need to import that module as well in here. So mat input module, mat mat field form field module. Okay, just save that. Still we will not able to see those effects in our application, so there is a reason for that as well. So I just refresh manually the application. So you can see that the browser is not showing any type of error, and I'm going to the field now. So the browser is not showing me any type of the error. But if I click on the input which is provided after the primary button, it is not showing me the animations or the effect which we have seen on the official site here. So like that. So just go to form field here, here. Yeah, you can see that the first one, you can see we have copied and pasted that, and we are not able to see that effect. So only because we haven't included the material CSS, so that was missing. So the best part to include the material CSS is in style.css. So as it is mentioned in my, so it's not mentioned in my presentation, but we need to add that in our style.css. So just go to your code, open the code, okay, open the style.css file. Here it is, the styles.css, and just so before importing that anything here, I have already copied that link. So you need to import the CSS pre-built themes present in our material. So you can just go to the node modules, materials. So it will take some time to search the folder hierarchy. So just go to the material. So it will be the material will be present in the Angular. Just go to material. Yeah, here it is. And just go to the pre-built themes. Pre-built themes. So you can find different themes here. So I have used the indigo pink CSS, and just copy the relative path if you want to. So here it is, the path I have just pasted here. Just save this, and you can go to your application. It's, you can see that it's recompiling and it's getting refreshed automatically. Now you are able to see those beautiful effects in your Angular. So here is the input. I just click on the input. Yeah, here you go. So you can have those beautiful effects by the Angular material. So I think we have covered our first section. So yeah, it's, so I think we have covered our first section. Now we have set up our Angular 7 application with Material 7 and Bootstrap. In incoming section, that is second section, we are going to create the layout and with using different components. So we will use header, body and footer components, and we will style them by using the Bootstrap and Angular Material 7. So I believe the first part is finished now. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.